Sometimes, an airline does not need to keep shouting out how many awards they've achieved. They also don't need to spend millions of dollars on useless advertising campaigns trying to convince us how to feel like home. Spoiler alert, one of the world's most underrated airline awaits, and Hãng hàng không quốc gia Vietnam forms the backdrop of my final episode to this amazing travel series.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
And that's right, guys, this is the final episode of what is truly an epic travel series that brought me halfway around the world. And I'm coming to you from Son Nhat International Airport here in Ho Chi Minh City. And I'm embarking on the last flight of this travel series with Vietnam Airlines in economy class from here in Ho Chi Minh to Melbourne in Australia. So come along with me and let's get this journey started. Let's do this.
Everybody just do your thing.
Indeed, what a journey it has been. This travel itinerary saw us set foot in 7 countries over the course of 2.5 weeks. Our first stop was Singapore, and from there, we went to France to experience the convoluted transit of Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. The bulk of this travel was dedicated to Malta, where we spent most of our time in. We then ended up in Italy, where I dealt with scammers in Rome, soaked in the romance of Venice, and enjoying the amazing culinary experiences of this passionate country. A beautiful train ride brought us to Switzerland, through the snow-covered Alps, where we then became almost bankrupt by the heavy expenses of Zurich. We said hello to United Kingdom, and the allure of Camden Town brought us towards some history lessons of this amazing suburb in London. A long-haul flight with Vietnam Airlines then brought us into Ho Chi Minh City, where we just spent 15 hours on the ground, fighting jet lag, and eating our way through the markets. So here we are, embarking on the final flight for this series. Videos for past episodes are now linked in the description below, and if you don't wish to miss the next travel series, make sure to hit the subscribe and the bell icon. Giving me a like is a great way to support my channel. So here's a thanks, it's very much appreciated. Welcome to Sân bay Quốc tế Tân Sơn Nhất. The origins of this airport began with an unpaved runway constructed by the French in 1930 next to the village of Tân Sơn Nhất, which explains the name of this airport. The location became a prominent military facility during the Vietnam War, with the air forces of the US and South Vietnam stationed here, making this the world's busiest military airbase between 1968 to 1974. In present-day Vietnam, this airport has retained the original 3-letter airport code of SGN, in reference to Ho Chi Minh City's former name of Saigon before 1976. It is presently the world's 50th busiest airport, handling 41 million passengers in 2023. Looking at how small this airport really is, it's not surprising a gigantic new airport is presently being constructed away from the crush of this metropolis, because there's just nowhere else for this airport to expand. Like most major international airports in the region, evening times are considered peak hours as a bank of flights depart for Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and red-eyes to North Asia. Vietnam Airlines is no different, and the check-in counters tonight are busy with flights departing for London, Frankfurt, Paris, Narita, Sydney, and my flight to Melbourne. Since we've already got our boarding passes in London, we could just walk straight through towards immigration, bypassing the insane check-in lines. Terminal 2, where we are now, was opened in December 2007. All international flights were transferred here when the original airport designated as Terminal 1 is now purely domestic. As a testament to the exponential growth of air traffic movements in Vietnam, Terminal 2 was expanded shortly after the ribbon was cut to accommodate the burgeoning tourist arrivals. A new Terminal 3 is under construction as we speak, and together with Terminals 1 and 2, will be capable of handling an additional 20 million passengers annually. The new terminal will open in April 2025, and this will tie nicely with the opening of the first phase of the mega airport located north of Ho Chi Minh City in Long Ten. Arriving and departing passenger movements are segregated into 2 levels. Thank God, because this isn't a large airport. From the glassy windows, we were able to spy on our aircraft for tonight's flight. Operating flight VN781 from Ho Chi Minh City to Melbourne was Victor November Alpha 8906, an Airbus A350-900 series, which first flew in February 2018, making her just shy of 6.5 years old at the time of writing. When flying in economy class, I always choose seats towards the rear because we will always be called to board first after business class and status flyers. A warm and cheerful welcome at the door is now almost an expected event after my last amazing flight from London. The Airbus A350 of Vietnam Airlines has 2 layouts, and this one we're on tonight has 29 business class seats in a staggered 1-to-1 configuration featuring the Stellar Solstice seats, which is different from the Dreamliners, which has the reverse herringbone Zodiac seats. Premium Economy has a capacity for 36 recliner seats, and being the newer model, does not seem as cushiony as the older Dreamliners seen here in my other video of my flight from London. Finally, majority of us will be back here in economy class. All 240 of us on this extremely full flight down south to Melbourne tonight. As an aircraft configured for long-haul flights, there's the 6-way adjustable headrest and the items of a pillow and blanket already placed on our seats. My very short legs now show the amazing pitch, which seems larger than the Dreamliner at 32 inches. A large and crisp PTV is there, but the entertainment selection is rather limited. The tray table can be used folded in half or fully opened. These new generation seats have very slim armrests, where the recline button is located. And the very generous recline is perfect to startle your fellow passengers behind you. A refreshing towel service was carried out once boarding was complete and we were awaiting pushback clearance. In London, given the chilly winter, we were given hot towels. In this sultry moist of Ho Chi Minh City's humidity, the towels passed out tonight were ice cold, which was most welcomed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain speaking. Welcome on board of Vietnam Airlines members of Airline flight number 781 from Ho Chi Minh to Melbourne. We are now ready for departure. Departure one way 25 left, southbound. Our flight time today is 7 hours and 40 minutes. May expect some turbulence during the first 3 hours of flight, so please fasten your seatbelt even with the seatbelt sign off. We would like to thank you for flying with Vietnam Airlines and wish you a very pleasant flight. Thank you. Cabin crew, armhost line and cross check. Thank you.
Not allowed on all Vietnam Airlines flights, including the use of electronic cigarettes.
No matter which runway you're taking off from, because Son Nhat Airport is located within the city center, the view will always be stunning. For this red-eye departure, Ho Chi Minh City puts on a fantastic light show as a form of a long goodbye, beckoning us to return at some point. The aircraft soon turned left and headed towards the South China Sea, avoiding thunderstorm cells of the northeast monsoon. It will soon be lights out after we pass Surabaya in Indonesia and then coasting into Western Australia over the city of Broome. The flight then heads directly to Adelaide before making a straight-in approach into Melbourne Tullamarine from the north, completing this flight in 7 hours 40 minutes, covering a distance of 6,690 kilometers. "7 hours 40 minutes on a red-eye flight is not very long. So dinner service began quickly without the usual bar service, so we can eat and go to sleep as soon as possible. There are 2 options for dinner tonight. There is the Western option of chicken with potatoes and steamed broccoli, which was accompanied by a cake and potato salad with ham. Or the Asian option was fish cake with rice and veggies, which came with an appetizer of roasted eggplant and lemongrass chicken. And dessert was a coconut sago pudding. Fish cake is something so quintessentially Southeast Asian. It's very commonly found in countries from Indonesia to Indochina and every other country in between. So it's something I grew up with, but it's now so rare in my adopted homeland of Australia, or at least in the town I live in. So I grabbed this opportunity to devour some before I return home to reality. It immediately brings back nostalgic memories of comfort with its bouncy texture, generally lathered in a sweet chili sauce. The garlic veggies are a treat as well. The appetizer of roasted eggplant and lemongrass chicken. Man, the flavor was clearly enhanced to make up for our taste buds going numb this high up in the sky, so it was potent, delicious, and most unexpected. The coconut sago pudding was a great way to complete this meal. I continue to be impressed with Vietnam Airlines, the fact that they bothered to provide different appetizers and desserts according to the chosen main dish. I struggle to think of another airline which does this. Dinner service was concluded very quickly. With seats reclined and not injuring anyone behind me, I got into a comfortable position. Well, as comfortable as it could be in economy class. And I easily drifted off to sleep sitting up, utterly exhausted from the journey I've had so far. Just before I start drooling, I better let this video footage fade, and I'll see you later in the morning as the lights come back on. Two and a half hours out of Melbourne, I was awakened by activity and movement around me, not so much the lights. This was how exhausted I was because I did not even remember dreaming. I closed my eyes for what felt like 5 seconds and then this happened, and I wasn't able to account for the last few hours. This must be what an alien abduction feels like, although I think there wasn't any anal probing happening during those lost hours. Breakfast service began with a drink run, but unlike our longer flight from London, there was no second towel service here. Soon enough, the meal trays were dished out, and we had the Western option of bacon, eggs and beans, or the Asian option of rice congee with minced pork, savory spring onions and fried shallots. Both options came with a croissant, fresh fruits, and a small tub of yogurt. Ask any of your Asian friends, and they'll tell you rice congee is the ultimate comfort food. There's something so magical about leaving rice to boil for a long time in excess water, creating a one-pot wonder of thick, stodgy starch that is as fragrant as it is warming. Unlike the West, Asian porridge is largely savory, which explains the condiments. It's lightly flavored with soy, And this entire dish just sings a gentle melody in your mouth, which reminds me of my grandmother's kitchen. I obviously did not leave any hostages. Because experiences like these are no longer easily available for me, living so far from motherland, I was inclined to ask for a second serve. And the wonderful flight attendants nodded with a smile, as if they knew my desperate need to reconnect with my Asian culinary background. And voila! They gave me a full second meal tray, complete with everything on it. Who was I to complain? And once again, I left no crumbs. As the flight attendants bowed to signify the end of the in-flight service, with my tummy so full from 2 serves of that delicious congee, it's also time for me to conclude my flight experience with Vietnam Airlines. In case you weren't aware, this itinerary with Vietnam Airlines was booked as one single one-way ticket from London to Melbourne with a 15-hour stopover in Ho Chi Minh City. While their Aussie to Europe flights connect nicely, the same cannot be said for flights from Europe to Australia. This 15-hour stopover isn't for everyone, but I'm someone who appreciates the journey rather than the destination. So this stop in Ho Chi Minh City was a perfect opportunity for me to get out and get my fill of hawker food. On the flip side though, this journey was extremely exhausting, and with each passing year, I'm reminded I'm no longer a spring chicken, and I should not be traveling as if I'm still 25. But Vietnam Airlines is an absolute gem service-wise. They have a fleet of ultra-modern long-haul aircraft, complete with the usual modcons we require, like charging ports and personal TV. While I did not engage in the in-flight entertainment for this second flight, I can tell you it's extremely lacking, so BYO if required. Service protocols on Vietnam Airlines are very strictly adhered to, and it shows. From the grooming department and the way the flight attendants conducted themselves, these little touches go a long way. And Vietnam Airlines isn't a carrier we hear about very often in the industry, beating their chest and yelling out accolades they've achieved. Instead, they're just there doing what they do. And the in-flight meals are an obvious highlight. I've done my fair share of Australian-bound red-eye flights from Asia, and the number of airlines which actually serve 2 full meals in flight doesn't exist anymore. The second meal before landing is normally a sandwich or a hot wrap. Singapore Airlines, the world's number 1, has even quietly removed the second meal service in 2012 for these red-eye flights, preferring to have a bar service after takeoff, lights out, and then a full meal service before landing. So there's only 1 meal on these flights. So Vietnam Airlines remains unique in this sense that they're old school, like how flying used to be like. Refreshing towels, bar service, full meal trays, nothing more, nothing less. So for this, I would gladly fly Vietnam Airlines again and again. I would even tolerate that long stopover in Ho Chi Minh City. Heck, as long as I can keep eating at the market, I'll be happy. For now, let's prepare for arrival into Melbourne Tullamarine Airport, shall we?
And just like that, we've come to the end of this fantastic travel series. I've chucked details of my Instagram on your screen right now, so hit me up there and chuck me a follow so you can actually see where am I traveling to in real time. It will also give you an idea of the type of videos that will be coming up on my YouTube channel. And of course, more importantly, do not forget to hit subscribe and the bell notification icon so you'll know every single time when I embark on such a crazy adventure again, halfway across the globe and back. Alright, so take care all of you, and I will see you for my next travel adventure. Bye.